RK's Guyana Free Media presents for human development and national development this message. Dearest, beloved, divine friends and family, welcome to RK's Guyana Free Media with another dynamic presentation of the current Guyana elections madness 2020, the absurdity, the stupidity, the absolute nonsensicality of elections 2020, which is now in its fourth month, ladies and gentlemen. What a national shame and a disgrace. Never in the history of the world, even the biggest countries of the world, they keep on putting Guyana to shame. And it's sad that there's the APNU or the PNC involved in this, which is one of my favorite sets of people. I can't believe they're involved in this. As for the AFC, I do not matter too much with them, for they're nothing. They're wiped out. They cannot get a seat ever again, nowhere else, unless the PNC continues to give them some freeness or some charity, to just have a name in there. And imagine, the PNC has to be a really good party, also known as APNU, because they were going to give these people 10 seats. And they cannot win one. Ladies and gentlemen, to our article and our point today on RK's Guyana Free Media. Namaste, assalamu alaikum, peace, mercies, blessings of God be with you. Around Guyana, the concourse of humanity, the fraternity of religions, and around the world. This is taken from the Guyana Times, Wednesday, July 8, 2020. U.S. Congressman writes Granger on transition of government and urges smooth handover of power and throws the support behind the State Department's work. United States, U.S. politicians continue to take a strong stance on the ongoing electoral process in Guyana, with U.S. Congressman Bill Posey. You will see his photographs up here and the article in the newspaper, ladies and gentlemen. Bill Posey, writing to Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and Guyana's caretaker President David Arthur Granger, urging a smooth transition of government. In a letter seen by this publication, Posey wrote to Secretary of State Pompeo to pledge his support for any measures taken to ensure a smooth process in Guyana. Posey also referenced two letters he wrote to President Granger, urging him to obey the will of the people. A commentary, ladies and gentlemen. In Guyana, we don't seem to understand the will of the people. And the will of the people is the will of God. God does what he has to do through the will of the people. And the will of the people, APNU, and the other element that's attached to them, the will of the people is the will of God. And you cannot go against the will of God and hope to enjoy anything, including your life. It's like a person who steals or is wanted, and every time there's a knock at the door, every time they see a police, they tremble. How can you eat and drink knowing that you're a thief of the people's will and the people's resources, and getting fat out of the people's wealth and giving away the people things to all your family as if you will live forever? Shame. I'm ashamed, ladies and gentlemen. A disgrace and an international degradation for Guyana. Back to the article. In your July 1st, 2020 press conference, you said it has now been 4 months since Guyana's election, and it is long past due for a peaceful transition of power. He's writing here, really, to Mike Pompeo. You have instructed the State Department to ensure that those who undermine Guyana's democracy are held accountable, Posey wrote. He noted that he fully supports the actions to ensure the peaceful transition to the new and duly elected government in Guyana. I have twice written to the President Granger to urge him to obey the will of his people, as expressed in free and fair elections, he also wrote. So a commentary, ladies and gentlemen. This is the second time. Now we're becoming popular in America. Most people didn't know who we are. Now they will know who we are. And they will associate us with one other name. That Forbes Burnham, the late Forbes Burnham, had said that Jonestown has put us on the map. Well, rigging and despotism attempting to steal a nation has again put us on the map. So Jonestown and rigging, thievery, attempt of a nation is putting us on the map of disgrace locally and internationally. Ladies and gentlemen, a salutation to Mr. Pompeo. Let us have his photograph on the wall, on our screen. Mike Pompeo. And next to him, or after him, Mr. Posse. In the letter to Pompeo, Posse urged the State Department to do whatever in its power to facilitate the transition of government in Guyana. He also informed the department of his readiness to assist if needed. Some people say, Roshan, can you want foreigners to interfere with us? Of course. Most Guyanese think they're Americans. I have American interest. American interests are developing Guyana. I love America. And I wish one day we could become a state of America. Because we're going to have this kind of thing from our people. It's better to have them than to have this kind of a thing, this thievery and this warlordish attempt to control a nation where you fire even bright military people and transfer them because they will not be involved in decency. A commentary from me, ladies and gentlemen. Are you trying to destroy people's businesses and life so that you can eat and suck everything out like a monstrosity, like a Dracula, like a shaitan and a shaitain, Satan and his horde of devils? I read the part again. Meanwhile, Post's letter to Granger, dated July 6th, had reminded a partner for national unity, APNU, leader that the elections belong to the people, and the transition to the duly elected government must begin, according to Posse in his letter. It is important for Guyana's democracy to be sustained to ensure a strong economy. Posse made it clear that frustrating the outcome of the election erodes the reality of democracy. My letter of June 5th, 2020 made clear that in democracies, elections belong to the people. I repeat, ladies and gentlemen, and I believe that in democracies, elections belong to the people. And I add that it is the will of God that works in the will of the people. And I move on. And Caribbean Community CARICOM observers have now confirmed the results of your nation's March 2nd election, Posse's letter to President Granger. The will of your people is now being made evident, and the transition of the duly elected government must now begin. Posse wrote in his letter, I urge you to declare the results of the election and begin the process of bringing the newly elected government to office. In honoring free, fair and democratic elections, Guyana can sustain its place in the community of American states. More importantly, you can assure the benefits of democracy and liberty to your people. Because everything will help, ladies and gentlemen, my commentary. All aid, all support, all financial transaction, all MoneyGram, all Western Union, everything will come to an end, dearest friends and families. Ladies and gentlemen, come to an end. People will suffer. Import and export will suffer. Even oil revenue will suffer. According to Posse, democracy and freedom combined with a free enterprise economy is what Guyana needs now to grow its economy and promote the well-being of Guyanese. He therefore urged Granger to facilitate an orderly transition to a new and duly elected government. Concede, he says. It has now been over 4 months since Guyanese went to the polls, and there has been no lawful result. Issues surrounding the election results are currently before the Caribbean Court of Justice, which will render a judgment today. Ladies and gentlemen, as I read this article, the international community has overwhelmingly declared that the results from the recount which show a PPP victory should be used. Calls urging Granger to concede have come from several other US politicians, including the powerful Marco Rubio, chairman of the United States Foreign Senate Relations Subcommittee on Western Hemisphere, Transnational Crime, Civilian Security, Democracy, Human Rights and Global Women Issues. Many, such as the Organization of American States, have called on the Partnership for National Unity and Alliance for Change, APNU, and the other instrument, to begin the process of transition, which will allow the legitimately elected government to take its place. This call came just after the Caribbean Community CARICOM high-level observation team that observed and oversaw the recount said in its report on the elections recount that the process was conducted in a professional, transparent and impartial fashion, which allowed GCOM, political parties and other stakeholders to accurately determine the results for each polling station. As such, the OAS reiterated that there is no reason not to support the results of the recount process. I repeat, as such, the Organization of American States reiterated that there is no reason not to support the results of the recount process. The recount process shows the PPPC won the March 2nd general election with 233,336 votes cast in its favor. The APNU AFC secured 217,920 votes. For the new parties, the numbers are as follows: a new and United Guyana, 2,313. Change Guyana, 1,953. Liberty and Justice Party, 2,657. People's Republic Party, 889. The Citizen Initiative, 680. The New Movement, 244. And the United Republican Party, 360. Excuse me. I've been doing a lot of recording today, ladies and gentlemen. Back to the article. In the original elections, the PPPC also won with 233,661 votes, while APNU ALC secured 217,055 votes. Change Guyana 2,607. Federal Party 153. Liberty and Justice Party 2,935. Organization for the People, for the Victory of the People 448. People's Republic Party 927. And the United Republican Party 1,369 according to the numbers. The PPPC is to ascend to the seat of power, while the APNU and AFC is now Guyana's main opposition. Ladies and gentlemen, my friends and family, that was my presentation there, and I thank you for tuning in to this, the RK's Guyana Free Media, and I go on to part 2, ladies and gentlemen, of this presentation, and this will be taken from the Stabroek News, Tuesday, July 7, 2020. Bar Association deplores attacks on the CCJ, attempts to interfere with justice. The Bar Council of the Guyana Bar Association today condemned attacks on the Caribbean Court of Justice, CCJ, and attempts to interfere with administration of justice. Ladies and gentlemen, a commentary. What a shame and a disgrace that APNU has put itself into a position where they are in fight with everyone in the world. And it seems to think that only them, that one party, is right. Can you imagine what it's this? They disagree with all the diplomats, the United Nations, all the organizations that observed, the CARICOM that observed, the American government, the UK, and they're insulting all of them, and now even the court, the highest court of appeal of Guyana. And I can't believe that Joseph Harmon would do such a thing. That he would go in and put on his page and say that persons left Guyana to go and bribe the judges at a time when nobody can fly out of Guyana, and when they have to have his permission of the alternative cabinet called the COVID-19 task force before anyone could leave or enter this country, ladies and gentlemen. This is truly sick, despicable and disgraceful, if you're to ask me, ladies and gentlemen, that a gentleman of that caliber would do something like that, just like how he was in his home or his office, and he said that presidential candidate Irfan Ali attacked and penetrated the GCOM Congress Center at Ashman's building before 100 police and security personnel in front of all the diplomats and all the observers from around the world and reporters, and had guns. And you know, some people of the app know actually believe that. Ladies and gentlemen, can you believe that? They actually believe it. They don't understand this is politics, and these guys will tell lies and play games to this level. Friends and family, and now we go to the article. And now they are battling the Caribbean Court of Justice and saying that they are corrupt and trying to work on their guilty conscience, that it was Forbes Burnham was one of the persons who started the CARICOM, and so the CARICOM is supposed to be with them. Ethnicity they're calling on, guilt complex they're putting on the judges and the Caribbean Court. Shame at you, man. Shame at you. Shame at you, APNO, PNC. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed, I'm shamed. And you guys think that you're right. And Harman, he's a lawyer. James Bond is not saying anything these days. He's quite quiet because he knows the reality. And he's a lawyer. Come on, man. Behave yourselves. Stop shaming Guyana. Stop trying to destroy the Caribbean Court of Justice. And making threats to the people. And affecting decent people's names in the process. So if people can fly out with a plane out of this country, it means you're a poor administrator of the COVID-19 task force. And the COVID-19 task force is impotent and pregnant with stupidity and poor management. And I know you all will make me enemy number one. But remember, I'm fearless. I have my Kshatriya bloodline and my Pathan bloodline. And I have the sun and the moon and the stars watching over me, and the universe and the microbes and the wind and the rains and the microbes in the earth watching for me. You try to hurt me, and the Creator and His universe will move to destroy you. And I am fearless. A time comes when people becomes fearless. And you, the people of Guyana, must be fearless, but do not become aggressors. Do not threaten anyone, do not threaten anything, but come together as a people and learn to be, wherever you live in communities, that you must have your defensive groups that can defend yourselves, not with any illegal items, but legal items that you have in your homes, in your yard, your backyards, legal things that you have in your homes and your compound that you can use to protect yourself and warn each other. I hope you read what I'm saying. Prepare to defend yourself if anyone tries to attack or to hurt you, ladies and gentlemen, and defend yourself. You have a right to defend, but you have no right to be an aggressor. Remember that. With the CCJ due to hand down an important decision in relation to Guyana's elections, on Wednesday there have been stepped up attacks on it which have warned against a certain decision being made. They're warning them if a certain decision is not made. The CCJ has been attacked, mocked and ridiculed, and the decision was not made yet. And attempts of terror. Back to the article. The attempts to influence have gone as far as the publication of a full-page advertisement in the Trinidadian Guardian newspaper to try to influence the people. Imagine what they're doing. The CCJ must be in a state of shock. Understand the despotism when people want to steal a nation. A statement by the Bar Council follows, and here it is. Statement by the Bar Council of the Bar Association of Guyana calling for respect of the administration of justice. With legal proceedings presently engaging the attention of the Caribbean Court of Justice, The Council of the Bar Association has observed that parties on all sides of the pending litigation, including parties outside of the litigation, have resorted to multiple forms of media to provide comments and information to advance their respective cases. This conduct is unreservedly condemned. Of even greater offence is the use of social media by members of the society to launch unnecessary, malicious and contemptuous attack on certain members of our apex court, our highest court. Commentary that they want to attack and destroy and threaten, ladies and gentlemen. It scared the hell out of me just thinking about that. Who these people think they are. That they can threaten and terrorize these people. You're causing them to want to judge against you. Instead of putting them in a corner to terrify and fear, they will lose a little bit of food. If you don't behave and be late, and trust me, you're not getting no contract. If you don't work with me and give me everything you got and all your support, and suck my toe, I will not give you any more contract. Well, you try there with that. You try there with that. Are you doing that to the Caribbean Court of Justice, the apex court? The Bar Association says, disgrace on you people, man. The Bar Council denounces and censures all conduct and actions regarding pending proceedings which are calculated to interfere with the administration of justice, are intended to prejudice the administration of justice, are made with the deliberate intention of interfering with the course of justice, are made carelessly or negligently without due regard for the integrity and processes associated with the pending proceedings, create a serious risk that the course of justice may be interfered with, prejudge the matters in issue before the court, and undermine public confidence in the court and or administration of justice. The course of justice and administration of justice in legal proceedings are critical pillars on which the rule of law rests. The pillars of justice are intended to stand robustly after many of us are no longer on this earth. Let not our conduct today cause harm to the administration of justice that it will take generations to remedy. The Bar Council has taken notice of such aforesaid undesirable conduct in recent times. The continuous, pervasive and escalated actions observed in both Guyana and most recently by way of a full-page advertisement in the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian of 4th July 2020 have made it necessary for the Bar Council to speak. We call on all to hold their voices, respect the processes of the administration of justice, and thereby cease and desist your injurious conduct. Friends and families, ladies and gentlemen, me, yours truly, say farewell, friends, as we look at the faces of the judges and the president or the chairman of the judgeship in the CCJ in Trinidad and Tobago, Mr. Sanders, Justice Sanders, along with the other judges of the CCJ, and a photograph of the CCJ, if my operator can find it, as we salute the judges and we ask for justice for Guyana. Please give us fair, righteous, respected judgment, ladies and gentlemen, that will save our country from destruction and depredation. Ladies and gentlemen, me, Haji, Dr. Roshin Khan, saying thank you. Farewell, friends. May the peace, blessings of God be with us and save our country.